Hi, welcome back. So in this module, we're going to be talking about body mechanics. By now, you've learned all the techniques to keep yourself energetically clean, clear, and strong, how to keep your space clean, clear, and strong. And now we're going to focus on keeping your body healthy and strong while you are practicing Reiki on others. I can't tell you how many times myself or even seeing other students in their practice with others, making so sure that the person on your table or the person that you're working with is super comfortable and relaxed. Meanwhile, we get ourselves into these really awkward positions in order to send the Reiki energy into certain places in the body. But it's so important that in order for the Reiki energy to flow strongly, and be that clean, clear channel, we have to make sure that our bodies are being held in a position that's also comfortable for us. Remember, it's the golden rule for a practitioner is to remember to take your own oxygen mask first. So in this segment, we're going to learn how to really make sure that you are always in integrity with your posture and alignment, your physical alignment as you're practicing on other people. So many of you are going to just be wanting to practice on friends and family, and that's perfectly fine. However, I would suggest that if you decide that you're going to be doing this work regularly, I would really suggest investing in a good massage table. You can get these for pretty inexpensive off of Craigslist or even Nextdoor. I've actually found tables for free, and there's tons of massage students out there who think they want to be a massage therapist, but then afterwards they realize, not so much for me. Anyway, they have tons of tables online on sale that are used that you can pick up at least for under $150. So I would not go out and purchase a brand new table. Having said that, these tables are really easy to set up in your living room or bedroom. They're portable. You can store them in a smallish closet. They're pretty transportable. Trust me, I took my massage table all over San Francisco when I was first starting my practice. So I would recommend, because they're adjustable. And when you are practicing with somebody on a bed, or even setting yourself up on the floor, you're going to get yourself into some sort of compromised physical position that your knees may give out, your back may give out over time. So that is a number one suggestion of mine. Now, if you decide to get a table, you can easily adjust it here at the side. There are these knobs that loosen up. I don't know if you can see that. You basically just adjust them through the holes here in the bottom. So it's pretty easy to do, and then you adjust it just to the right height. So what is the right height? Anytime that you're practicing on someone, you know that their body is probably going to be just a few inches off of that table. So you want to make sure that, so say we no longer have this person on the table, okay? So you want to make sure that you adjust the height of the table to just where your hands are hovering just a few inches above the table. So in other words, you adjust the table high enough so when your person is there, that person is filling that gap between your hands, okay? So you can see how that really plays out. So here's my person. Here's my arms are still straight. I'm not stooping over or bending over in any way, and keeping your knees soft. That's always a really great height for the table. So you're going to have to play with that as you move through your own practice. So that's with you standing up, and you will be standing up and being seated throughout the session. I also suggest getting a, if you have any sort of little stool. I love if you're coming into working with others on a regular basis and you're setting up perhaps a home healing studio or setting up your professional practice. If you're really going in that direction, I highly recommend getting a pneumatic stool, an adjustable stool. You can get one of these at Staples. It's really easy, and it just allows you to adjust the height based on where you want to be in the session. So that's been really helpful. So I used to do the sessions standing up the entire time. I used to kneel down at the crown of the head and then stand the entire time. That got pretty old after a while, especially since I was seeing up to 5 or 6 clients per day. So I like coming in and being seated at the crown of the head and being seated throughout the entire session. But you can do the session standing up periodically and still be comfortable. So making sure that you're never hunching over, that your posture is really straight and aligned. And the way that I like to check in with that is I can kind of feel just my sits bones right at the pelvic floor. You can feel those 2 bones, right under your glutes there. And as long as you're kind of plugged into those sits bones, then you know that the rest of your spine is going to be pretty straight and aligned. And so you just want to make sure that your posture is aligned as you are working with other people. So here at the crown of the head, and I'll stand up for this one so you can kind of see. So I'm working my way down. Now what do I do if I hit the throat chakra? We can't hold or hover over the throat chakra or the pelvis because those are really vulnerable areas. So this is where a stool is really key, because the last thing that you want to do is kind of get underneath and come down here and kneel down or squat down. If you're holding that position for 5-10 minutes at a time, that's going to burn you out pretty quickly. So this is another reason why, even if you're working at home, just have a chair or something that you can be seated on to do that work. So we're going to come in, and I'll adjust my stool, and then just, making sure that I'm at the proper height to where I can just, without stooping over or getting myself into some funky position, simply slide my hand under the back of their throat, slide my hand under the sacrum, and making sure that your reach isn't too compromised for your body. I have pretty long arms, and just, sitting upright and making sure you're at the right height. This is called body mechanics. Same thing when you are working at their hips. This is something else that I see pretty frequently with my students, is that perhaps the table isn't the right height. Maybe the table is too high or too short. Anyway, what I see oftentimes is people even putting a knee on the table. That's probably because the table might be just not the right height. You never want to put your knee on the table with your person on it. That's just, it's gonna get into their field and it's not gonna feel good. So you just want to very lightly put your hands over their hips to address their root chakra, their pelvis. This is a Reiki hold that we learn in your practice. Again, see how my arms are just effortlessly, I'm not leaning over, I'm not hunching my shoulders. I am leaning into it, but my knees are somewhat soft, and so that helps to kind of lower me, but I'm not squatting. So just kind of, easing into it from here. So making sure that, and you can test it by making sure that you have a pillow or something that you're working with, and then you can adjust the height of the table from there. So if you are working at with somebody on a bed or even on the floor, I would really suggest, before you get the person lying down, really test it out for your body. There are ways that you can work with somebody on the floor. You can prop them up with pillows so you're not hunching over. And there's all kinds of ways to work. If you are working with somebody at a bedside, of course your knees are probably going to be compromised because you can't get your knees under the table. So you want to make sure that you at least have a chair that without any arms or a stool, so you can easily move your legs in and out as you're working along that bedside. And if you absolutely have to, there have been times when I've gone to hospitals and obviously can't bring my pneumatic stool or my massage table with me, and worked at hospital beds. And those are the times often where I may even work hands just hovering. So because with the hospital bed, the bars are, kind of keeping that person in, you can lower those down. So just making sure that whatever scenario that you're working in, making sure that you're setting setting yourself up, setting the bed, the table, the floor space up so it's appropriate for you first, and then lying your person down and making sure they're comfortable in that setting. Okay? So Body Mechanics 101, don't compromise your physical body to make somebody else comfortable.